Hi, I want to make a comment. This week in history, whenever this tape is played, there was a woman who was a psychologist who testified against an individual who was being confirmed for the Supreme Court of the state, for the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And there was a feeding frenzy because the Democratic Party brought her in to talk about her rape. And she was raped. Unfortunately, I've heard men say that, well, he didn't even get to penetrate. Well, hell, he wasn't even there. He was in a blackout. The man could have passed a lie detector test. But she was there, so does it mean it didn't happen? Her psyche was penetrated, so does that mean she wasn't raped? A woman can't have sexual intercourse unless she's psychically open. That's why there's the whole sexual seduction and ritual and passion before it can happen. Nature doesn't even allow uh, sex until there's psychic penetration before there can be sexual penetration. The woman was raped. Uh, the definition of rape is forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without that person's consent. Okay, let's take a look at that. Well, she went to party, not lay up in bed with two drunk, nasty breath, privileged things. Okay? Then she was upstairs on the second floor intending to go to the ladies' room and was pushed into a room. Well, it was with her will. If it wasn't against her will and with her consent, I'm sure she would have walked in the room. They would have known they did it. She would have known they did it. And there would be nothing to shame and humiliate oneself in front of the whole country about. Okay? So, from the tarot card point of view, that's enough for me. We can stop there. I will mention the two front doors. And so, the reason that I want to talk about this today is that she's still trauma based. And I'm hearing too many people around this time in the 80s. I'm sure most of us went to college in the 80s. And I can tell you that I locked my door on Friday nights with the beer blast. I wasn't into beer, but they were so crazy. They were so insane. But this woman was in a privileged environment, a country club with supposedly privileged Yale, supposedly non-animal, people. In the tarot card, I use the Mother Peace because it's about women, and I'm part Cherokee. In the tarot card, this is the card that everybody wants. You notice that it has 5 swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's as if someone had 5 swords and they stabbed you. Swords in the first place don't bode well for relationships. A person isn't likely to want sexual penetration with somebody who put 5 swords in their head. The pain is so great, how could you even get to the pleasure? Okay? And then not only that, there's a B, in the middle of the card, you know. And this is the card that everybody is afraid to get. Oh, they call it the death card. It's not the death card. The death card is from a bee. I mean, is what turns into a butterfly. That turning into a butterfly is the death card. It's a beautiful thing. This is the card. Somebody coming after you with 5 swords isn't going to stop. Stabbing a person once is enough to kill them. Twice is overkill. 3 is rage. 4, you've lost it. And 5, you're trying to cut them up, not stab them. So this is what happened to her, and this is what happens in rape. So the card that I'm going to be talking about today is because I felt bad for her that she has 2 front doors, and I think that I don't know any women who haven't been in a situation of their mind. They've lost their mind, having been raped and run out of wherever. I know I did. I don't remember. I remember the rape. Don't remember where I was. Remember the guy pushing my head down into the act. Remember running out of the place. Don't remember getting in my car. Only reason I remember I drove home was because I must have ran 12 lights and was hoping I didn't get hit, but I was in so much pain I didn't care. So every woman, you only remember the trauma. That was brilliant what she said about the hippocampus and the part of the brain. It's just like being lied to. It's like when I get readings and women are calling me up. Is he sleeping with another woman? Does he really love me? How does he feel about me? Is he into somebody else? Why is the ex still there, even if she has the baby? You know, lies. Lies rearrange your brain. So you got to get rid of it. So that's what this rape uh, message is about, and why, and how tarot cards uh, fit in, and how you got to deal with them. And what I'm going to take you from is this card, which, is the rape, to this card, which is marriage. See, notice that she's all by herself. She's not with a man, and she's laying in what is a bath with those stones that heat the water, and she's got the lavender water, and she's got the green, which I recommend, and a white bath and the flowers, and then she's got the bird for the ego with the spirit. Okay, so how do we get there? Because what happened was a lot of women, the front door really bothered me, two front doors, so you're still traumatized after 40 years. And I want to really get into that because the women are a valuable resource. They cook the food, they do nutrition, they teach basic lessons of life, they protect, they're there to talk to cry upon, to help people, keep families together, nurture, all the basic stuff so you can go out into society and not scare anybody. So another reason I use this shaman deck is notice that it's round like a clock. So I can do time. I can tell where you are in your cycle. And there are many cycles. So rapists, first of all, we know about the ego. We saw the slamming of the desk and the yelling and how dare you, because I didn't remember, it didn't happen. And I am not like that today. So I, gonna be absolved of everything I ever did wrong. So you shouldn't be feeling anything. Oh boy, I'm still mad about that. That's superiority. That's false pride. That's anger. That's envy that she could stand up against him. That's sorrow because he got caught. That's regret for what he might lose. That's greed, thinking that he deserves a position on the Supreme Court no matter what, that you're one of the 9 people in the United States that with who doesn't have a temperament half as good, who can't hold it. Boy, I wouldn't want to stand in front of this guy, you know, just like 92% of the people in jail, where the judge had another agenda, because he's going up to the Supreme Court. He's already got a mission. He didn't see this coming. Kudos to the mob, which was the other party, because he couldn't have saw that one coming. Because remember, he wasn't there. He was in a blackout. The arrogance of his attitude, never said he was sorry. Never. No, go look back to it. Well, I believe she thinks something happened, but I'm the great I am. So, and I'm going to the Supreme Court, and I've already, got my marching orders, and I'm going to fulfill them with a vengeance, for the fact that you dared, tell the truth about me. Self pity, you know. I got a reputation, a wife and 2 daughters. I said, well, I hope those 2 daughters were listening. What you gonna do to a man who acts like you when your 2 daughters become the doctor? Guilt, I didn't see any guilt. Resentment, lots of that. Inferiority, most definitely, because everybody would have gave him a pass and said, yeah, well, I was going to AA for 40 years and I haven't had a drop. But no, he's saying, I'll continue to drink and I'll continue to get drunk. God damn it, I'm the great I am. And then just the lies. Everybody knew it was lying. Everybody who went to college, no matter what college you went to, you didn't have to go to Yale, Harvard, Stanford, any place. You could have gone to Polk Don't Community College. Everybody knows how those boys act. Everybody knows what those boys do. Every woman in the country heard the laughter. Every woman in the country had stuff stirred up. Okay, so for tarot card readings, let's see how we can get the joy so we don't need two front doors, so we can always make sure we get out of one. First, as I keep saying, it's a follow-up. You have someone to talk to. When you can get a tarot reading to an anonymous reader on the other side, you can go through a whole service. Most services have 50 to 100 readers, 200 readers on them. I mean, it's worth spending the money till you can find somebody who will work through it with you, somebody like myself. And then you can get back to the joy, because all of these cards in the deck, you know, they bring you to joy. So these are your opportunities to joy. Okay, that's how many opportunities you have is joy. And also you can see all the circles around my card: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 to joy. So how do I find joy after, something like that type of rate? Well, first of all, that it never needs to happen to you again, and that you can have the joy that a lot of women just had a cathartic experience listening to you, and that I'm sure behind closed doors that you gave a lot of married women power just by speaking up. He may be going on the Supreme Court for life, but there's going to be a whole bunch of other men who acted that way doing life along with them. Believe that in families. You can be at peace. I'm doing joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. Because these are the things where you get your power back, where you don't need two doors. These are the things that you get from readings. All readings, that's where they're going. Okay, when you get a tarot card reading, you get the right tarot card reading with the right reader for you, is to restore your soul. Without restoring your soul, you can't think clearly, and that you won't speak up like this courageous woman did, in front of such animosity and hostility. But we went through that list. But she has a peace, and I'm telling you, having testified against my rapist and the guy who nearly beat me to death, it never occurred to me that your man could beat you to death. That never occurred to me. He beat me to death because I wanted him to tell me the truth about something. And I said, now you're having kids. Don't you think you should stop lying? And that put me in the hospital, and you can tell my eye is still not right, but So, but she can be at peace because she told the truth, and I'm at peace because I'm better than that. I loved you. You don't beat me to death. And then there's the love. But I love me more. I'm not going to walk around and live a lie, because it does catch up with you. You could say it caught up with him, living a lie. And the fact that, he's not about love at all. His wife will never live that down, because all her girlfriends know the truth. So you have to love yourself, and to love yourself enough to make your footprint on this world. And the tarot cards will give you all kind of reasons to love yourself. And I do readings. If I see a reading and I saw a reading, and I saw that I wasn't going to be doing well financially in my retirement years, which I'm getting close to, and I saw that 5 years ago, and I do readings over and over and over again, and I've changed direction, take courses, talk to people, travel, do certain types of work, act certain types of way, take the time to do these videos so I can write my book. It is the only way I'm going to have any money in retirement. I am not counting on Social Security or a federal government that's run by a bunch of crooks and liars, and that felt good to say that. So I have hope. I have hope. That's the next on the list. Because I'm in control, I'm in charge, I'm doing something about it. I can call up a reader, or I can do a reading, or I can do a card, or I can do spiritual healing, like getting my chakras balanced. Because getting your chakras balanced, and I have a video on this, is like tuning up your body so you're not depressed. Tapping works. Tapping really does work, because it's hitting sinners, sinners, sinners in your body, and I feel better already. You change your aura. You ever walk into a room when you're with somebody and you say, wow, they just seem a little angry and negative. And you say, are you okay today? And the person says, oh, yeah, I'm fine. You're like, no, 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 I'm getting energy. So human beings, we're transference of energy. So tapping can help you get a job because you go in there clean. You go in there calm. You go in there serene. That brings money to you. People want to be around people who can do serenity, who are at peace. You know why? Because they'll go home and they'll learn whatever they need to learn, or they'll do whatever they need to do, you know, to live the life they want. Myself, I'm trying to go vegan. And it's not because I'm terrific. It's just that I just don't like all the stuff they put in beef, all the stuff they put in grass, all the stuff they put in the dirt, the way they treat these animals, the way they kill these animals. I just don't want to be a part of it. And then I used to love fish. Now I got to eat frozen fish because they're not cleaning up the sea. And now I have to have everything organic right down to the coconut oil because of the chemicals they put in it. I mean, it's just about being serene. I don't want too painful a death, and I don't use pharmaceuticals. I'm glad I don't. Everything is in my kitchen, but I have to change my diet, and it's all good. I'll end up losing weight. So, you just have to be at truth with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You don't lie to other people. Think about it. People like being around people that don't lie, who aren't doing the wheel of power and control. That's what we call it, the wheel. It's beyond the F word or any other type of word, any other type of profanity. It's beyond profanity. It's beyond anger. It's beyond resentment. And then there's kindness. Now there's an instant shot being kind to somebody. Somebody needs something done. Like I personally, my thing is elderly. I see an elderly person on the bus stop with packages. I can't stand it. I always seem to have time to drop them off, and they want to pay you. And I think that's protected me from getting car accidents. Karma, universal law. I've just missed accidents. I've missed props. I just can't stand it. If an elderly person needs something, that's the kindness. You could call it benevolence. I can't stand that either. I've met a lot of friends where I've seen that they waste food and come to find out, I said, wow, that's a truck full of terrific celery. I can't eat all that. This is a gift from God. And so I take it over and I drive over and I give it to veterans. We all have something in our lives, and the veterans are very grateful. I mean, veterans with not enough food, veterans with not enough money, veterans with not enough health care who had to go into service in the first place because they didn't have enough money. What can you do to make the world a better place? So these are all pieces. Empathy. I think all of that with the veterans and the elderly, empathy for yourself. Somebody's yelling at you or somebody's disrespecting a reading. Okay? The readings they don't come out of my head, okay? These cards come from spirit guides and guardian angels who are in other dimensions, probably the dimension where we came from, which is where we're going when we die. And personally, I don't want to be derailed and miss my opportunity and have to come back here. So, uh, when I get a reading, I keep it respectful of the spirits who protect me. I don't call me up and say, "Is he going to call me or not?" Who going to call you? Or not? Okay. Well, we need a little bit more than that. Generosity, truth, compassion, faith. Okay. You got to work on these things. And you work on using all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 every single solitary day. And you will not get caught up in any type of psycho or sexual rape. For more on this, come and see me. A reading with me donates to domestic violence and making the world a better place for women. Thank you so much. I hope you feel better now too. I do, for sharing.